how the communication happens in distributed applications. In distributed applications, how the communication happens. Actually, we have three specifications. Three specifications are there. One is SOAP, REST, and JSON. These are the three important specifications. So how computers in a network communicate with each other? So there are three communication specifications. One is SOAP, REST, and JSON. Actually, what is this is, in SOAP, usually it is service-oriented architecture protocol. SOAP is service-oriented architecture protocol. And in SOAP, what happens is consumer makes an XML request. Consumer will make an XML request. Consumer means client. And that means we have client app and server app. Consumer means client. Client makes an XML request. And the provider sends an XML response. That means the request and response will be in which format? It is in XML. It is in XML format. That means request will be actually like this. Suppose products, and we have product, and we have a category called some electronics, something like this. Generally, XML request will be like this. That means what they are requesting is, they are requesting the products that belong to the category electronics. Then response will be in XML form. That means products, in that product, and in that you have an ID, someone, and its name is some TV like this. And its category is electronics, because user is requesting electronics and it will get all the electronic products. And we have a product, and like that multiple products. All the products that belongs to electronic category are written. That means in a SOAP, the request and response will be in the form of XML. So there are three type of communications. One is SOAP, another REST, another JSON. In SOAP service request, from client side, an XML request will go, and server will respond with an XML. Request and response will be in XML form. We have another one. We have REST. REST is representational state transfer. We have REST, representational state transfer. Another important is REST. And what happens in REST is, consumer sends a simple query request. Simple query request. And consumer will send a simple query request, and provider sends XML response. Provider will send XML response. Optionally JSON. Optionally JSON response. The primary response will be XML. That means the request will be in simple query request. Simple query request means how client request will be like http:// server.com/products. In that category is equal to electronics. Request will be like this. It will be a simple query request. And how the response will be? The response will be in XML or it is in JSON. You know JSON, how it comes. We have an ID. So this is, and we have a name. And we have category. Category is electronics, like this. That is the response, how it comes. Actually, if it is multiple, you know that it is an array. Array of objects. It is going to send all the products that belong to electronics category. So this is REST. So one is SOAP, another one is REST. So we have a SOAP service request and REST. Now, what is the third one is JSON. JSON, we know it is JavaScript object notation. In JSON, consumer sends JSON request and provider sends JSON response. And JSON, I don't need to give you example. You know already the format, how it looks. That means the request and response is in the format of JSON. So in distributed architecture, the communication happens in three ways. The communication will be in SOAP, REST, and JSON. Earlier, we used to depend on a lot of SOAP. Then we migrated to REST. And now we are using most JSON, but still majority of your projects is using REST. They are using REST, RESTful services. Why they are RESTful services? Because the request will be in a simple query, but the response will be in XML or JSON form. You saw Fake Store, you saw NASA, APIs and all. They are all RESTful. That means a simple query request come. But now in future, everyone is trying to use this JSON. But majority, either services, web services, so which uses SOAP. But now these days we are not using much web services. That means these are three specifications. How communication happens. Actually, these are the three specifications. How communication happens, those are the three specifications usually. Web service specifications. Yeah, these are the specifications we have. SOAP, REST, and JSON. Actually, SOAP is service-oriented architecture protocol. It uses languages like WSDL, UDDI. web service description language. And the communication will be in this way. That means the consumer sends an XML request. SOAP request means it is in XML form. And the response will come in the form of XML. Request response will be in XML form. We have REST, representational state transfer. And in REST, request will be in a simple query form, like query string, route parameters in a simple query form. And response will be in XML. Now recently, instead of XML, majority of RESTful services are sending response as JSON. We have both. Actually, primary response will be XML. We are using now JSON. In JSON, the request and response will be in JSON. The service request will be in JSON and response will be in JSON. These are the three ways of communication. Now the question is, why XML and JSON are preferred for communication? That means data is sent using XML format or using JSON format. Why? What is the reason of sending data in XML and JSON format? What is the specialty about these formats? I think in one occasion I explained that while working with API in our fake store. XML, JSON, first point, they are lightweight. They are not infected by virus. The data which is in XML and JSON form cannot be infected by virus. They are lightweight and they are understandable to every operating system and device. That means they can reach every device. From a PC to a smartwatch, data can reach even low bandwidth devices. Another, they cannot be blocked by firewalls. Usually in a computer, firewalls block the incoming data. And data in XML JSON cannot be blocked by firewalls. And they doesn't require conversions because conversion means usually we call COM marshalling. Object to binary, binary to object conversions are not required. That is the reason. One of the main reason is these formats can easily transfer via network. And these formats are understandable to every device. These formats can run on every operating system service platform. Any device, even a device with low bandwidth also can use the data. That is the main reason of JSON and XML. So actually, the point about the communication in JSON and XML are these. Now, what is the concept here is, the question here is, why XML and JSON? So the answer for this, so lightweight, and no conversions required. Here conversions means COM to Marshall. Common object model. COM stands for common object model. COM to Marshall means converting object code to binary, binary code to object. That is COM marshalling. Can flow through firewalls. Can flow through firewall. So another important cross-platform, another important, can reach any device from PC to watch. It can reach any device. So that means even devices with very less bandwidth also can use the data. They can use the data. That is the reason in software technologies, the data transportation happens via XML or JSON. Right? Actually, now we have more lightweight than JSON also. We call JSON P, but still people are not yet using it. Majority we have XML and JSON. Next important is now what is the popular distributed technology understandable to all languages, technologies is web service. But we are now not using web service. Earlier we used to use web service. Even today, Java, .NET developers, experienced people in companies, they ask web service mandatory. Experienced people means they ask mandatory knowledge of web service. And these days they have good, means experienced people means they have a good demand here. I will show you. Suppose here we are searching for some. Suppose here I am searching Java, some full stack developer, and I will give web service. Something like this I am searching. You see here, majority, you see Java full stack developer 3 to 8 years, 25 to 30 lakh per annum. And these are huge packages. And web services are mandatory for them. They don't ask APIs because API is the new generation. Several projects are still using web services. Majority projects are already working with web services, and now recently all are working on APIs. That's the reason many, you see, Angular, React, they need both. I already told you in the introduction itself, Angular, React are not choices. For an experienced person, they are not choices. They need both. For a fresher, anything is fine, right? So this web service you will find almost everywhere. You see RESTful web services. RESTful web services. A software developer means he need to have knowledge on these web services. But now, why we stopped using web services much? What is the problem with web services is, and why we are using the new generation of API? What is the concept of this is? So now the question is, what are the issues with web service? What are the issues with web service? What is problem in web service? What are the problems in web services? First important problem with web service, it uses only SOAP. It uses only SOAP as service request. That means, what does it mean? It uses only SOAP means communication will be in XML only. The request will be in XML form, response will be in XML form. Another point is, it can run only on HTTP servers. HTTP server. That means it can run only on web servers. That is the reason their names, that name itself says it is a web service. That means it cannot run on other servers. That means you have local servers, you have non-HTTP servers. There, this cannot work. Web services cannot run on other servers. They can run on only HTTP. Only on web servers they can work. That means if an application is running on any another server other than HTTP servers, because network can be on different servers, then it cannot work. Another important is it can use only HTTP as protocol. Only HTTP as protocol. It can use only HTTP as protocol. It can use HTTP as protocol. Its primary specification is XML only. It can use only HTTP protocol. Generally, what is the job of HTTP protocol? That means what kind of data we can transfer over HTTP. HTTP is a protocol used for transferring web pages. If we want to transfer emails communication, web page communication HTTP, email communication SMTP, and messages like chatting and other MSMQ. These are all different protocols. For different communication, different protocols are required. So HTTP, SMTP, TCP, IP, MSMQ, named pipes, these are all different kinds of protocols. So suppose you are building a website. In a website, remember, HTTP server is only for transferring web pages. Suppose you have a website. In the website, you want to provide email service. Then email servers are different. You have to buy separate email servers. Web server cannot send emails. For emails, you will have separate servers. Email uses separate protocols. Suppose you want chatting applications like messaging, messenger services, then you need a separate server. You need a messaging server, and every server have different rules. What is protocol means? Protocol defines set of rules. For example, HTTP means it follows the rules for transferring web pages. How much quantity of web page content you can transfer? Any quantity. There is no limit. But do you know emails, messages have limit? Can you send any lengthy message as message? No, you cannot. There is a limit. That means these servers are separate. You have to buy them. Actually, if you know, suppose I will show you GoDaddy. GoDaddy is a domain seller. Domain seller here, what you have to do is, you want to have a website. If you want to have a website of yourself, your own website you want, then do you know what you have to do? Generally, if you want a website, what are the requirements to have a website? First thing is you have to buy domain. Domain you have to buy. After that, you have to buy hosting space. You have to buy hosting space. And if you want emails, you have to buy email. Email server also you have to buy. And if you want some chatting apps like to use, you have to buy the messaging services also. Messaging. Another important is, so messaging server. Another important is, suppose you want to integrate any payment like that. That means you need to buy payment gateways also. Gateways. Payment gateways like you see UPI payments and other payment gateways are added into that is also we have to buy. You want to put some payments related transactions, then you need to buy the payment gateways. So many is there. A website will not happen simple. You have to buy so many things. That means you have to buy the domain. Domain is www.yourname.com. Then you have to buy the hosting space. Hosting space decides your speed. You buy more space, then it will be better. Less space, less speed, then it will perform slow. And you have to buy email server separately. For example, you see domain is, suppose domain, you are searching for a domain. Suppose some Naresh IT, I am searching for domain. It will show that nareshit.com. So it is already there, nareshit.in, 1 rupee. That means you can get this domain for 1 rupee. And actually domains will be like 4,000, 5,000, 10,000, sometimes 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs also domain will be there. That means some names, they go to auction. Just name itself, it will go 20, 30 lakhs. That means you can see we have domains and you can see domain auctions will be there. Auctions. When you go to these domain auctions, you can see the domain auctions. That means some domains are in auction and you can see the domains in auction. These are the domains in auction. These are the domains in auction. Different domains are in auction. And you can see sometimes they will be very costly. Domains will be very costly. And you see this is 1,13,000, this domain radius.co. That means only name. Only name. This is very less actually. So that means you will find when you see some domains will be 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs also domains will be there. People buy them. That means they buy the domain names. These are all domain names in auction. These are all domain names in auction. Right? So technically the point here is these are all the domain names. These are all the domain names. You can see this is the 4 lakhs domain. That means only name 4 lakhs. Then after that, what we have to do? After we buy the domain, it's not done. What we have to do? We have to buy the hosting space. That means I will take to the hosting space here. Yeah. Websites hosting, you have to buy the hosting, web hosting. And you can see hosting space means they will charge like this. That means hosting space for one website and one database with 10 GB, so 79 per month. Just like you buy online drive spaces, cloud space you buy just like that. Hosting space you need to buy. And that is not finished. After that, if you want emails, you need to buy emails also. You see emails are different again. And email per user 34 rupees per month. One email costs 34 rupees per month. That means you want to maintain email for all employees in your company. Then for every employee, 34 rupees per month you have to pay. Email servers are separate. Messaging servers are separate. Payment gateways are separate. Lot of things you need to invest. Now, what is the problem in web services? It can run only on HTTP. That is the problem with this web service. That's the reason now we are using the concept of what? We are using the concept of API. API is an alternative for web service. What is the concept about API? API is application programming interface. What is the specialty about API is API so uses REST. API uses REST and JSON. API uses REST and JSON. That means it uses completely REST and JSON communication. And it can run anywhere. It can run anywhere. It can run on any device. any device, any device or operating system services. It can run on any device or any operating system service. So that is one of the main concept about APIs. That is the reason now the current generation people are not learning web services. They are learning APIs. APIs primarily use REST. They can run anywhere means what? They can run anywhere means any server, any protocol they can run. Any server, any protocol they can use anywhere means. That is the main intention of API actually. What is the concept of API is, suppose the concept of API is very simple. So we have data. We have data. Now we have a mobile, we have a PC, we have a watch. So mobile, PC, watch. Now this data should reach everywhere. That means we need to access the data and make the data available to a mobile, available to a PC, available to a watch. That is the main intention of API. The API intention is to make the data reachable everywhere. Any operating system, any browser, any device can understand your data. Even a lightweight, less bandwidth devices also can use your data. That is the intention of APIs. Programming interface, application programming interface that develops a business logic which communicates with the data and provides the data in a format which is understandable to every device. Actually, the world's first API is eBay. You know, eBay is a shopping app and it is the world's first API. First time a app came onto mobile-like device is eBay. This is the first mobile app. That means it is the first mobile distributed application. Even today, Amazon, Flipkart, and other shopping ERP shopping, they follow architecture of eBay only. The shopping in Amazon, the shopping in Flipkart, these are architecture of shopping is provided by eBay only. For example, do you know eBay is so lightweight that in your PhonePe, Paytm apps, there is shopping option. If you observe, you can redeem your coupons. So by shopping on eBay, actually the shopping in Paytm, PhonePe is powered by eBay. That means now imagine how much lightweight it is. That means in an app like Paytm, a shopping app is running. Paytm itself is an app. In that a shopping app is running, which is powered by actually eBay, which is an eBay app. That means all the architecture of shopping is followed by eBay. That is designed by eBay. That is the world's first API. It is the world's first API. After that, everybody started APIs. So this is the concept of API actually. So the concept of API is this. This is the main point about API. That means we have database and we need to develop a business logic. This business logic allows communication with the database and provides data in such a way that it is understandable to everyone. It is understandable to everyone. That means any operating system, any browser, any device can understand. That's the main concept. So here important is, this is the generation. API started in 2000. The world's first API is eBay. After that, Amazon came. After that, Salesforce, then others. That is the growth of API generation actually. I this is presentation I designed in 2010. That's the reason my screenshot stopped at 2010 only. Because I designed this presentation in 2010 for training people on .NET Web API technologies. So at that time, we designed this presentation related to .NET people, Web APIs and all. That at that time, APIs were new. So newly we are using API at that time. So, and that's the reason after that millions of APIs are there now. So this is the evolution of API, evolution of API. So that means how the APIs grow. That's the concept. And how they work later you will learn. Actually, others not required for you. These are all complex architectures. They are not required for you. So only one important thing you need to understand is now how to build this API. So now we will learn how to create an API. What are the requirements for designing an API? Let's see that. So concept of API you understood. So API provides a business logic that handles communication between database and client application. API provides a business logic that handle communication between database and client application. It can process the request and send response in XML or JSON. It can process the request and send XML response in XML and JSON. So how to create these APIs? So to create APIs, actually creating API with Node and Express.js. We are creating API with Node and Express.js. Remember, different server-side technologies have different middlewares. Actually, Java, .NET, PHP, Python, all these technologies, they are server-side technologies. These server-side technologies need some middlewares. With the help of the middleware and a server-side technology, we can build a web application and we can handle communication. Why we need two? What is Node.js? What is Express.js? Node.js is used to build a server-side web application. We can build a server-side web application using Node.js. And that web application have to handle communication between client and database, which is done by Express.js, which is a middleware. Middleware is a software which is used for handling communication in a network. Network-based applications communicate using middleware. There are so many middlewares. Java and all these people use Oracle Fusion as a middleware. Oracle Fusion is world's popular middleware. Oracle Fusion, Express.js, Cisco, so many middlewares are there. Cisco middlewares also there. Depending on technology and the requirement, every technology have different middleware softwares. We have one popular one is Oracle Fusion actually. Oracle Fusion is a middleware. This is Oracle Fusion. This is Oracle Fusion. This is Oracle Fusion. Oracle Fusion is a middleware very popularly used in various applications. This is a middleware for cloud, for web, client server technologies. This middleware is very popularly used. This is an Oracle Fusion middleware, and it can work for different applications. You see, IoT applications, mobile applications. IoT applications means even smart bands. It can reach data even to the smart bands like devices, right? So that means this is the concept of middlewares. These are all Oracle. Oracle, you know what is Oracle? Oracle is not database. Oracle is an ERP. It is an ERP. If you say Oracle database, that is wrong. Oracle is not database. Oracle is a very big ERP software. In that, they have a database. Oracle is not database. Don't ever say that Oracle is a database. Oracle is not database. Oracle is ERP. Same like SAP. You know, SAP people have SAP SRM, SAP CRM, SAP FICO, SAP ABAP. SAP have several modules. For every business, they have different modules. For finance management, for administration management, they have separate apps. Similar to SAP, Oracle is also an ERP. Oracle Financials, Oracle Middlewares, Oracle, Oracle is also having so many admin related software tools it is having. So Oracle is a very big ERP. Oracle have an business intelligence also. Do you know Oracle Business Intelligence is very popular and it is called OBIEE. Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition. So Oracle is not database. Oracle is a very big ERP. In that they have so many things for administrations, for finance management, separate. You have, I hope, you know, Oracle ERP. So this is actually, this is Oracle. Oracle is an enterprise resource planning, ERP. And they provide everything for a business. They provide everything for a business. They provide everything for a process. You see, ERP products, finance management, procurement management, project management, risk management, ERP analytics, performance management, everything they have. Actually, Oracle is not so popular as SAP in ERP because SAP have 72 products, 72 modules are there for different business requirements. SAP is very popular in ERP. After SAP, this is Oracle. Oracle have for finance management is there. Oracle Finance Management is actually what? Oracle Finance Management is Oracle Financials. That means all the business related finance management is done by this software. Right? Business intelligence. Oracle Business Intelligence is very popular. You must heard about MSBI. MSBI is Microsoft Business Intelligence. Similarly, OBIE, Oracle Business Intelligence. Business intelligence tools are very popular in overseas countries, especially for the people who are doing masters. Do you know people who do masters in US and everywhere? They learn these business intelligence tools because they have a good demand with business intelligence tools. They have a good demand with business intelligence tools. That means business school people, if they do these softwares, they get immediately job. So that means so much demand for these people with the background of that. That's the reason. The point here is the database is in MongoDB and our API will be in Node.js and Express. Why Node.js and Express is very simple point here. Node is required to create server-side web application. To create a server-side web application. And Express.js is a middleware that handles communication in a network application. Is a middleware that handles communication in network application. So Node is required to create server application, server-side web application, and Express is a middleware handle communication in network. So you can create a business logic using Node and Express.js so that it can handle communication with the database. So first we will see how we can create API. What are the concepts here? So what you can do is you can use the same project. Suppose I am using a TypeScript, React TypeScript app we created. This is our React application. So in this React application, what we will do, this is a TypeScript React application. So in this React application, what to do is we will create a folder called server. And all the business logic we will keep here. Server side business logic we will keep here. You can have both in one place. So, but server runs in a separate IP address, means separate port number. Client app will run in a separate port number, and we need a communication between them. So what are the concepts you need to install? That means in order to design a business logic to handle communication between client, server, and database, what are the requirements? So what you have to do? So open your React project, then create a new folder. Open your React project in VS Code. Create a new folder server for business logic. And next what you have to do is install the following libraries. To create and work with APIs, we need some important libraries. npm install, one is Express.js, that is middleware. Node.js is already installed because in the beginning we installed Node.js. Through Node.js only we are creating the web application. So Node.js is already there. You have to install Express. You need to install another MongoDB and save. This is MongoDB drivers library. It is MongoDB drivers library. And Express.js is, you know that, it is middleware library. Middleware library. MongoDB drivers library. What is MongoDB drivers library? It is responsible for communicating with MongoDB database. Any technology can communicate with any database by using relative drivers. Oracle have Oracle drivers. So MySQL have MySQL drivers. MongoDB have separate MongoDB drivers. You have to install that. Actually, we have another called Mongoose. Mongoose is also a library. But Mongoose is not required. On internet, several people will show you Mongoose library. But Mongoose library is for ORM only. That means if they want ORM approach, then they use Mongoose. But MongoDB have both facilities. It can use ORM and it can use data. Both requirements it can manage. Next important, we need another library, npm install CORS library. Another important library is CORS. CORS is cross origin resource sharing. This is for CORS. Cross origin resource sharing. Resource. CORS origin resource. Resource sharing. Resource sharing. CORS is nothing but why you need a CORS, because actually as of now we are using same server, because our computer is only one. In a computer, in one port number you are running server app, in another port number you are running client app, and you are trying to share data between them. Then what happens is, generally browsers think this is not good, because two apps are trying to communicate with them. They block. Cross origin resource sharing is blocked. To enable that, we need this CORS. That means if you set up this CORS, you can control it. You can allow sharing of data between two apps running in two different processes of same computer actually. That is important, very, very important. Otherwise, reading data is allowed, but sending data is blocked. When you try to send data from one app to another app, that will block. That's the reason you have to make sure you install this CORS also. CORS. So initially, we need these three. One is Express, another MongoDB, and CORS. Okay, let's do this. In my computer, in this project, we are setting up npm install Express, MongoDB, and CORS, and save. All together, I am installing. So once you install, now how to write the server-side business logic in Node.js, right? Now what you need to do is, next point, server-side business logic is written in a JavaScript file. So you have to write what? Some server.js. You can create any name, index.js, anything. So any JavaScript file. You have to create a file. Right. Now you create, all these libraries are installed in my project. Now what we do, go to server and create one file called server.js, or simply api.js, anything, right? And here we need to create a server app, server side application we have to create. To create server side application, we have to import the modules. We need Express.js module. First, Express.js is enough to create a server-side application which communicates with the client. So, and how to import is, Node.js is not using ES module system. What Node.js is using a require module system. So in Node.js, how to import any library? We have to create a reference, Express. Into the reference, we use require command. Require is a command used in require is a command used in Node.js to import any module. Generally, to import any module, what you do, import the name from the module name. But here we have to use, first we create a reference and equal to require. Require is a method. Which module is required? We need the module. Which module is required? So we need express module. That is the express module. That means we need to import express module. So to create a web application, server side web application, we need to import this express. Now with express, we will create a app using this express. Using this express, we will create an app. That means the express is loaded into memory and it will create one application and we give the application name as app. You can give any name, doesn't matter. Now remember, this express will create an application. This application can handle request and send response. This application can handle request and response. Now what request you are expecting from client and what response I should send? How you design a request and response. That means how your React application is handling response to request. I showed you one concept, how a React application responds to client request by using the mechanism of routing. That means client makes a request and that request related route is available or not, it will verify. And if it is available, it will send a response. So request and response completely depends on routes. Now server side also we have routes. I told you already in routing, we have client side routing, server side routing. That means a server app also have routes. What request it should able to manage. That means now we will use app.get. That means application can manage a get request. Okay, what is the get path? What is the path? Path, you learned routing, wildcards, everything, right? So slash, what does it means? It means that if user is not requesting any specific, then what to do? That means it uses a callback function. This callback function will have two objects. One is request object, another one response object. It is a function with request and response. What is the job of request object? The job of request object is to collect data from client. That means if some data is sent by client, that is collected by requested object. Request object means generally how client sends the data. Client can send the data via query string. Client can send the data via form body. Client can send the data via cookies. That means client side data can be sent to server through query string, through form data, through form body, and through cookies. That means what you can request query string, you can request form body, you can request cookies, right? What response object is doing? Response object is sending response to client. What kind of response you can send to client? HTML response, text response, XML response, JSON response, even file response. Means a JPG file we can send as response, PDF file we can send as response. That means every request route have two objects, one request, another one response. That means currently we are not requesting anything. We will send a simple response. Suppose I will put response.send. Response.send. What response you want to send? As of now, I will just put a response. This is welcome to API. Some response we are sending. You can send any response, XML, JSON, HTML. I'm just sending a plain HTML response means you design a HTML body. You design a HTML body. That means you can send HTML as a response. Okay, this is fine. Now we will create another request. Suppose app.get. If he requests slash product, that means if client is requesting some slash product, then what we have to do? We need a callback. What is it? Remember, formal parameters, any name you can give. Request and response, any name you can give for formal parameters. And what is the response I have to do? Response.send. Response.send. I want to send a JSON type. That means I am sending an object, and object will have key values, anything. We can create a JSON and send JSON. That means what we will do? Here we will create a product, and it is a JSON type. It is name. It is having price, something like this. And it is having stock. So, and this data we will send. That means we can send that data there. Right? So here we are creating a response. Okay. Now the point is, you created a server app and you designed the requests it have to manage. Request and response it have to manage. Now this server have to run. This server app have to run. So for that we have to use app.listen. Listen means it starts listening and you can make a request. Listen means you start the app. Listen, on which port number you have to tell the port number. Port number is some 5050. Any port number you can give. Any port number you can give. Why? Because already make sure that the port number is not in use. Because if it is in use, already it shows a message. This port number is in use, please use another. Because our React app is running on 3200, na? 3000, na? 3000 is our port number for React. Here we can give a different port number. Suppose I given 5050 and we will put a message console.log. Remember, Node.js is using JavaScript server side. Then you cannot use DOM methods. DOM method means document.write, alert, prompt. You cannot use DOM methods. You have to use only console. So console.log, I will put a message, server started. Okay, where it is running http:// what is our server IP address? 127.0.0.1 and which port number we given? 5050. That is the message we are giving. Now your server side app is ready. But currently server side app is doing one-way communication, like from client to server, server to client. It is not still communicating with database. Database still we have to establish. First run this file. And remember, you have to run the file from the location where it is. Actually, open the terminal. In which folder it is? CD server. Server is the folder. In server folder, we have a JavaScript file. How to compile and run JavaScript file we already learned in TypeScript. Na? What we have to do? Node compiler we know. Node API.what.js. Node API.js. Then it will compile that and it will run. And you will see that now your server started. That means your server side app is running. Okay, let's make a request. Let's open browser and request it. http://127.0.0.1:5050. I am just hitting enter. Now the response is coming from server. The response is coming from a server app. So your server side application is working. Now you make a request here /what product. Then it is going to get the product data and show. That means a JSON response. But later what we will do? When they request this, we will connect with the database, get the data from database and load it here. That's what Fake Store, NASA API, everybody doing. That means now we are creating an API which is handling the request. Almost all routing features are same. Routing features are same. That means, for example, you see now. So I will stop this. Control C, you can stop. If you want to make any modification here, now you see how to design a request in such a way that if user is requesting something and it is not there, then we have to say not found. How? You know, app dot what? Get, and you know asterisk na? We already know the route way, how to write route parameters, server side, client side, everything same. And he needed request, another one response. And what we need? Response dot send. Response dot send. What is the send? Page you requested, not found. That is the message. I will send this as code, like a code I am sending, which is actually a HTML semantic. Right now I run this again. Now what we need to do here, we are requesting something like categories, and it says not found. And remember, if this is stopped and you are trying to access this, it will say cannot connect because it is stopped. You need to make sure that server is running, server app is running. That means you have to run this, app is running. Now it is fine. It is fine. So technically what we have to do, so import express library and create a server app. So what we have to do, var express is equal to require express, and var app is equal to express. That is the app. Next, what we have to do is configure the routes for server app. How to configure the routes? You can use all methods like app.get. So you can use this is request and response. You can use app.post. And same request and response. Post, put, delete, patch, everything you can use app.put. So app.delete. So all these request methods you can configure. The get methods, the post method, the put methods, everything. We will create all of them. After configuring the routes, then what we have to do is start. Here we can say configure port number to run server app. So how do we configure the port number? App dot listen. Listen on port number. So 5050, some port number we are given. So next, now start your business logic. What you have to do? So node server.js. That's the process how to handle. So we are creating our own API now. So and this API is handling request from the client and sending a response. So all the route parameters will be same. Route parameters we learned now. So route parameters means what? Suppose here I am defining app.get slash details. How to configure the parameter slash colon, parameter name ID, and again slash colon, parameter name some name, like this. You can pass multiple parameters, price. Then we have a request and a response. Now, how to collect those parameters? Actually, in React, we used use params. Use params is a hook to access the parameters. Here, what you can do is we can access the parameters like this. Suppose I said response.send. Okay. Here I want to send some body. Suppose I am giving some name. So what we have name, right? ID. How to access the ID? Request.parameters.id. So you have request object which can request the parameter. In the next line, what we want name. That means how do we display? Request.parameters.name. Another in the next line we have price. That means request.parameters.price. So passing, this is lowercase name, and this is lowercase price, right? Yeah. That's how we send the data. That means we can request this. And important actually, after sending, we need to end the response. End is compulsory. As of now, no problem. Later we will face problem. If we don't end, it will be still processing, right? That means it will be still processing response.end, end the request. After sending, end the request. So response.end, end. Okay. Now start the API again. And you can see now, here I am requesting slash details. And you know that it will show an error because details is expecting parameters. We need to pass all the parameters slash 101 slash mobile slash some price. Then it will get that and display. This is server side routing. Earlier you have seen client side in React. This is server. Almost everywhere routing is same. In Angular also same. Server side applications routing will be same. So usually means routing is same means the process of how to request and respond is same. Their methods will be different, right? So this is the simple example of configuring an API. This is example I given. This is one small example for that, how to configure. Now in this, I just created a simple server-side app which can respond to the client request. Now we will create a complete end-to-end. That means now we need to create a API which can handle communication with the database. So client will request from browser. We will connect with the database, get the data from the database and send the data from database. If that is ready, then our React app can come to picture. In the front end, our React app can use the API and work with the data. That we'll see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that. So tomorrow we are going to design API which communicates end to end from client side to database. How to communicate with API, that we will see tomorrow. Then we can design API according to one project now. We will create a project related data and we will use it. Tomorrow we'll do that. Okay, right.